Well, episode 2 did not disappoint of Tekken Bloodline, and I'm not going to go too long on this one because there were a couple of things that happened, but I don't really have to talk about a lot of it. Basically, it was the training episode. The training episode for Jin as he began his training under the tutelage of Heihachi Mishima, and as soon as the episode started, they walked to the ring, and you can never let your guard down with Heihachi. As Jin stepped in the ring, Heihachi knocked him in the back. And I was like, yeah, well, I figured that would happen because Heihachi has always been devious. So Jin learned the hard way. And I believe Jin is like maybe 14 or 15 years old here because 4 years time passes in this particular episode as he's going through all this training. At one point in the beginning, he is talking to Heihachi's assistant and tells her that he wants this training outfit that has the iconic flame on the side that he had from Tekken 3, his debut costume. At one point, Heihachi tells Jin, you're only going to use your fist in this practice, in this training, no kicks. But Heihachi, being the devious bastard that he is, and having more experience, as I said in the previous video, he decides to use kicks and punches as well, much to Jin's chagrin. At one point, Jin tries to break this couple of blocks of wood, and unfortunately, because he's still very weak, as you can see here, he's just out of a training of getting his ass handed to him again by Heihachi. He tries, but fails to do so. Even though Jin couldn't do it, Heihachi instantly shows Jin how it's done. And he shatters all the wood pieces everywhere. That was a really cool animated scene. Unfortunately, like I said I don't know if I did say it in the other video, I can't show any of this footage because Netflix owns this, of course, and if you show this footage, they will claim your video, they will copyright. They will actually block the footage, actually, because it was blocked when I tried to do the first video yesterday. But as I did mention before, it's beautifully animated. It flows with computer animation, it fuses, I should say, with computer animation and regular animation, and it flows very well here in its storyline. Another interesting aspect of episode 2 of Tekken Bloodline is when Heihachi decides to take Jin out for dinner with him as he is undertaking a business meeting with someone that's about to hand him over this artifact that can somehow locate Ogre, as we find out during the course of the conversation between him and Jin. Unfortunately, the greedy guy that is working for Heihachi decides to double-cross him and ask for more money because he says, oh, well, this thing is worth more than what I figured it was. And Heihachi has no qualms about telling Jin to get up and take care of this situation because he has no intention of paying this guy any more money than he's already paid him. He orders Jin to take this guy out and take the artifact off of him. Utilizing the training that he has undergone with Heihachi, he easily takes down this crook, breaks his arm, and Heihachi says, finish him, which Jin still has the aspect of his mother's teachings of self-defense and the way she taught him not to be ruthless as Heihachi wants him to be. So he hesitates for a moment, but then he takes the criminal down by knocking him out. In this episode, as I was watching it, you can pretty much tell there's a struggle between Jin right now. Inside of him, there's a struggle of his mother's teachings for self-defense and then Heihachi's teaching that he's been undergoing for a number of years. I've said as this episode goes by, 4 years have passed. And Heihachi is teaching him to be very ruthless and almost like the Cobra Kai thing where it's like no mercy. He's pretty much teaching Jin just to be ruthless and deadly and dangerous. You can't let your guard down ever, and you have to take the enemy down whichever way you can. They must be beaten no matter what, by any means. Another thing I liked about this episode is that there are some missing martial artists like Li Xiaoan, Beko Dosan, Wang Jinrei, the old guy who died, I believe, in Tekken 6, and of course in the front you see King. They're all missing, and it could be tied to Ogre, who is targeting, and I think this might be the reason why June was killed. she's targeted by Ogre because he's targeting the best martial artists in the world. You know the old saying, how they do it, the old story that they use, the narrative they use in these martial arts movies. I want to be the best, so I'm going to take out the rest. Yeah, something like that, I guess. Oh, that all rhymed. Interesting, huh? Jin's training continues, and as the sequences go by, you can see that Jin still has a lot to learn, but he's also getting better. He's getting stronger every time that they show him. He's able to start blocking moves. He doesn't get hit as much. He's still getting hit, but not hit as much as he was when he began training with Heihachi. So he is definitely learning and getting better. They also have some shots of him going to school all bandaged and beaten up. I think that the school would probably question that, but I guess not. I don't know. Another highlight of this video was the fact that we got a cameo from Ro Wang, who is, or I should say, who was the rival of Jin when he started the game back in Tekken 3. They were rivals. So I thought it was a cool little cameo they put in here where they show him and Jin training. That was really, really cool. Taekwondo versus traditional martial arts. We had another good cameo in this one as well by Xiao Yu, who I believe is supposed to be Jin's girlfriend. Is it ever implied? Because I don't remember. I play the games, but I don't remember. But I know they're always together most of the time. And I know she does have feelings for Jin. But yeah, you get to see a little small cameo, non-speaking cameo of her walking home with Jin as he's all bruised and battered up. And he is putting on a lot more muscle. That's the thing, too. As time goes by, Jin is growing up as he's still going to school and training with Heihachi. And you can see he's in his traditional outfit here, minus the flames on the other side just yet, because he's still training and has not beaten Heihachi in a training sparring match yet. But he has definitely put on a lot of muscle. He's looking a lot more dangerous. He is definitely looking a lot older than he was when he first started his training with Heihachi in the beginning of the episode. And I like how, even though it's a very short episode, it's only like, what, 25 minutes or so, not a lot to do, they did manage to put enough in there to show you how the training was going, how he was getting stronger. Even though he was taking his licks, he kept on coming because of determination, you know, to get revenge on his mother's killer, as well as to become stronger in general. It just showed just how much determination and how much will he had. And I really, really enjoyed it. Really did. Because, I mean, he's one of my favorite characters. This all culminates into one final climactic sparring match between him and Heihachi. And finally, in the last final match, he gets the flame insignia on his pants, which we know and love as his debut costume in Tekken 3. And he manages to actually get some licks on Heihachi and make him bleed. I love the fact that they use the moves. I mean, why wouldn't they? But I love the fact that they use the moves identical right from the game. It looks like you're seeing the moves just look, they flow so well in this show. I just love the way they're animated. It's just beautiful. So Jin brings Heihachi down to his knees, and there are two pillars that Jinpachi is mentioned of bringing to Heihachi years ago, and he destroyed one of the pillars to show just how strong the Mishimas are. They have the power to build and the power to destroy. Jin decides to take it upon himself to destroy the other pillar to show that he is not only graduated from Heihachi's training, but that he is stronger and even more dangerous and determined than ever before. After he destroys the pillar and walks away like Mr. Cool, Heihachi calls for the King of Iron Fist tournament to begin to lure out Ogre, and that is where the episode ends. And wow, another great narrative, another great episode for Tekken Bloodline. A very short anime series. Like I said, 6 episodes. They probably intended to make it a movie, but they broke it up into parts to make it episodes instead. But the narrative so far is really, really good. And it looks like Jin has unlocked his hidden potential, because during the course of that sparring match, that final sparring match he had with Heihachi, his eyes turned a reddish color. So that devil gene that's inside of him is probably about to awaken soon. I'm hoping it does. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this was my review for episode 2 of Tekken Bloodline on Netflix. I'm so impressed with this. I'm loving it. It's good to see something that comes out that you can actually enjoy and watch, and it's not trash. It's not woke. It's not trying to, you know, put out an agenda. It's just telling a story. And the story that it's telling here about the Mishimas, especially about Jin's journey from, you know, starting out as just being a regular martial artist who really wasn't that great at martial arts, subpar, and becoming the dangerous opponent that he is to many, as well as a playable character that many of us use, is just beautiful. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. I love this show.